grew up here as kids. Their whole family were married here, baptized, and all of that. So,
Reverend David Hunter of St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church in Cleveland speaks about the funeral of 41-year-old Jonathan Meadows, who was murdered last Thursday in his Warren home. Police have arrested Meadows' 14-year-old daughter, Brescia, on an aggravated murder charge.
911, my daughter. And she just shot my husband.
Brandy Meadows told Fox 8 that her husband was controlling and abusive, and her daughter was protecting her.
She's my hero, our hero. And now we need to move forward and have us a better life.
The Jonathan Meadows siblings say he was a good dad, and this was cold-blooded murder. Back with Lisa, Yodit, Spirit, and Pat. Joining us by phone, I have Lena Cooper. She is Jonathan Meadows' sister. Now, Lena, first of all, we're sorry for your loss. This is just a tragedy all the way around.
Thank you very much.
And you had sent us photos of your brother and Brescia, and they showed, to what you say is a more characteristic representation of their relationship, was that it was a good relationship.
Correct.
Do you think, well, let me put it this way. What do you think motivated your niece to do this? What was going through her head, do you think?
Well, to me, honestly, I don't know. But, I mean, there's a lot more to this crime than what is on the surface. I've heard different, because if you ask any of my family members, they'll tell you each one of us was told a different story on how this happened. That's why we don't feel that the family is being honest and truthful with everything that's being told. When the police got there, there was no signs of any type of abuse. Normally, if someone's being beaten daily, you see bruises on them. School counselors are trained and teachers are trained to know signs of abuse. Their son even told my son a matter of days ago that, their father never physically abused them. He may have mentally or verbally said things to them. But, I mean, that's something that a lot of parents do, because, like he said, that sometimes if he brought home a B, he might have said you could have got an A. I mean, that's no reason to say your dad is mentally or verbally abusing you. My brother loved his children. And, I mean, if you look at the pictures that I sent, there is no signs of any type of fear or animosity in those pictures. And I was just there in May in the house for Mother's Day, and I interacted with all of them. When my mother died in Labor Day last year, I interacted with them. I had them in our hotel room, so they could have easily spoken to any of us. I mean, if Brandy's sister is a domestic violence advocate, if she got her out of there in 2011, there's no reason why she couldn't have gotten her out of there today. They have two grown children.
Lena, I'm going to interrupt you for a quick second because I wanted to get to my panel and to see what their response is to what you have to say. Your Spirit, you and I have been uncomfortable with this. Everything about this makes us uncomfortable, I would say, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And then what she is saying makes me even more concerned. And even, let's say he was severely abusive, I know that our attorneys have said that there is a defense here, but boy, that's just a heck of a standard.
Well, and I was listening to the child's attorney during the last break, Dr. Drew, and to his point, my question then was, if all of that had actually transpired, then we need to have charges brought against the state here, because DFACS never stepped in and did their job, against these teachers who never stepped in and did their job.
Right.
It just sounds like then the ball would have been missed in so many places up until now if this truly was the type of abuse history that he's talking about.
Pat, go ahead.
And then to hear Mom.
Hang on, I want to hear Pat. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say very quickly is that the defense attorney was talking about the myriad police reports and evidence. We need to see that. The prosecutor made a statement in one of the reports that I read saying, I see no evidence of that. But, if the defense attorney is saying we're going to bring that, you're going to see 18 years of beating and pounding and everything else, then that's going to be a different story. But
it is
right now, it just seems to me like we've got a very, very troubled teenage girl.
But that's the way domestic violence is. Families do hide it. Perpetrators are able to do it, and they don't show bruises. They certainly don't do it.
We need the evidence. We need the evidence in this case.
If I may for a second, they don't do it when someone's snapping a camera at a graduation. The girl's not going to do anything other than smile next to her daddy. So we don't know. We need the evidence. I agree. And this is, I wonder about the mom a lot. The mom calls her here. Why doesn't mom take the kids and protect her own children? If she's not able to protect her own children, she shouldn't be encouraging a 14-year-old to pick up a gun and kill daddy.
Of course not. not. Of course not. Yodit, it's interesting to me that the attorneys are more comfortable with this than any of us. This is kind of a role switch. But go ahead, Yodit.
And then, it's not that I'm comfortable, but I've seen it. I was prosecuting family violence cases, and a lot of times the victims wanted charges dropped against their spouse or significant other, and that wasn't because it wasn't because the assault didn't occur.
Yeah.
It's for a myriad of reasons, right? So again, to say that the state might have dropped the ball, now sometimes you can't move forward on a case without the victim's testimony, and sometimes on those slim chances you actually can move forward. So I wouldn't say that the ball was dropped here, and I do agree that we don't know a whole lot of the evidence that the attorney is willing to put forward, and once we do see that, then we can make decisions. But as of right now, I can't necessarily say, and I feel bad for the family that lost, you know, their brother and their son, but you can't necessarily understand what's going on in a household unless you're there all the time.
But to be fair, Lena's point was solid, which was that, Lena, who is it that's the domestic violence expert? The sister?
Her sister.
Her sister.
Her sister that works for the Cleveland Police Department.
And certainly that's where the ball, you know, I know she got her out once before, but again, the system didn't follow through in some way. So I'll give you last word here. I've got about 10 seconds.
Okay. My only point is all this abuse and everything they're documenting is from 2011. There's not anything recent, not any police records or anything else.
What do you think? What happened? What happened here? What's your guess?
It's an unruly child. My niece was caught doing something she should not have been doing at 14, and that's why she ran away. And that's what it all stems from. But the media is portraying it differently.
Yeah, but to pick up a gun and shoot her dad, that's more than an unruly. This is a very troubled child.
Yeah, you'd have to
in
show
a household that's got some major issues.
But you'd have to show real psychopathology.
The whole thing that people told us at the funeral is that the fact that all of this was staged. They had her do it because she would get away with it, they thought. The family did not start all of this negativity towards my brother until Brescia was put in jail and not released.
All right. Pat, last thought, real quick.
Just very quickly, I want people to remember these words. My daughter is my hero after she shot her father.
That was weird. We're all troubled. We're troubled by a lot.
We should just move on. Now we can all move on.
Everything about this is troubling. Thank you, everybody. Next, caught on.